So a hat-trick of premierships to the Hawthorn Football Club. Congratulations to everyone associated with Hawthorn. A magnificent season, magnificent 3 seasons in a row. 4 grand finals, 3 premiership cups. It says it all. And today they were most emphatic in their victory over the West Coast Eagles. Other than the first 2 minutes of the game when the Eagles jumped out of the blocks, Hawthorn completely smothered them, strangled them, and then clinically dissected them and put another premiership cup in the cupboard. Alongside me, Jared Healy, who has been to the MCG so many times over the years, and will go through all the ins and outs of today's games. And 2 other blokes who know what it's like to win 3 in a row. Jonathan Brown and Alistair Lynch from the Brisbane Lions, the last team to do so in 2001, 2002 and 2003. They got to 4 in a row and as well. Well, boys, first of all, Jared, I'll come to you in a moment, because I want to say to you blokes, now you know why everyone hated you blokes so much, because it is an amazing feat that you guys were able to watch, and I must admit, must have brought back great memories for you guys today watching Hawthorn emulate you guys from 13 years ago.
Yeah, it did. I'm happy for them. I'm mainly happy because of the way they play football. And it's a high, exciting brand, obviously contested football, tough. They move the ball really well, don't they? Kick a lot of goals. And obviously when you see a Cyril Rioli win, but it's a great feeling. They'd be probably overwhelmed a bit at the moment and just sitting back enjoying a nice cold crownie, I would have thought.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it is such a great time, and it was such a similar path to ours in 2003. We lost the first final against your very strong side. We had 2 very big wins going back into the grand final and got off to a good start and had a good win in the big day. So it's a great feeling when that final siren goes. You look out into the field. Obviously, you see the devastation of the West Coast Eagles, but the elation of the Hawthorn players and their fans that are pouring out of the stadium now. They have just witnessed one of the great teams, and what this club has done in recent times has been extraordinary.
Yeah, it has. Their tactics and their strategy has been absolutely first class. Dermot Brereton will join us shortly once we physically remove him from Cyril Rioli. The embrace just continues to go on and on. But 16-11, 107 Hawthorn have defeated the West Coast Eagles 8-13-61. Gunston was magnificent with his 4 goals. Smith was at both ends. You look at those 2 guys. In the last 3 weeks, both of those guys came in with massive fitness issues. They've kicked 7 between them on grand final day. Rioli was just scintillating. Mitchell with his 34 as usual. Hodges there again could have easily had another Norm Smith medal. And Gibson. And you look at, and I'm sure we'll talk about it shortly, Jared, but the way they've been able to use free agency and manipulate their list has been absolutely magnificent.
Well, Clarko's been ahead of the pack for a long time, hasn't he? And he was the one who first strategised that with the new franchises coming in, you weren't going to rebuild through the draft, and so he went to free agency and he went to trades and he brought in some of the most magnificent players that have extended their reign. But I think we should just, for a sec, Ed, pay homage to Alistair Clarkson. Took over this club, had a couple of years at the bottom of the ladder, pinched a premiership in 2008. Now he's won 4, fellas. Yeah. 4 in such a short period of time. There's been a lot of great people win 4 flags, like Lee Matthews and David Parkin and Kevin Sheedy, Ron Barassi. They're greats names, of the game.
Dick Reynolds, David Parkin, Lee Matthews, Kevin Sheedy, Ron Barassi. They're the biggest names. Alistair Clarkson. And then you go to the big 2, don't you?
Yeah, you
Norm Smith, the Norm Smith medal. And, of course, the king of coaches, Jock McHale, the longest-serving coach in the history of football with 8. But, I mean, Alistair Clarkson's there as a young man and he's going nowhere.
Well, he could arguably be the greatest coach of the modern era because he's done his 4 premierships in such a short period of time. And he's done them with 4 different styles of play. Today, he came up against a new tactic and he just found a way to cut through the new tactic.
Well, he did. He sliced at the bits, and we know their greatest asset is that loose man defence. Very interesting. We'll talk about it later. Simo allowed that loose man across half back, and that just dismantled the web, that defensive structure that's been so good for them all year. So Clarko has done it again, and we've got to sort of give a bit of a pat on the back to the big chief that we bag week in, week out here.
Well, he's been part
he
of
was
it,
on that selection panel that selected Alistair Clarkson, and there was a lot of hostilities around Hawthorn at the time, whether he was the right one.
It nearly split the club. It nearly split a club that was teetering still and rebuilding. It nearly split the club when Alistair Clarkson got that gig. And, of course, Gary Ayres was probably the runner-up, one of the greatest Hawthorn players, a 2-time Norm Smith medalist. So there was a lot of drama going on at that time. We're going to go across to Kingy in the lab. Kingy, I want to ask you, mate, today the Hawthorn Football Club, I was just fascinated watching, as an agnostic, you watch the tactics and they didn't panic. They knew that they had the skill. At no stage did they allow any turnovers. They were just methodical and magnificent.
Oh, they were brilliant, Ed. It was perfect planning. They didn't go through the web. They ran around it and outmarked them in contested marking situations the first half consistently. And I think you've got to come back to the leaders of the Hawthorn Football Club, not just the coach. I think Luke Hodge has set a standard down there that they all follow. Sam Mitchell, again, was fantastic in the biggest of games, as he has been for the last 4 or 5 seasons. We saw Sean Berg going back to his best today. Isaac Smith, his run and carry was enormous. So I think their leadership group drive this system and this plan better than any other leaders in the competition.
Yeah, well, you talk about the Hawthorn Football Club. I mean, they haven't gone through all easy sailing this year as well. Let's not forget that Jared Rufford had a cancer scare earlier in the year. We know that Hodgie had his own issues off the ground in the last month. We saw the injuries that Isaac Smith came through and also Jack Gunston, and they've done beautifully. If you can hear some yelling behind me, it's because Dermot Brereton, the Pied Piper of Hawthorn, is approaching the Fox Footy Centre square here. It's unbelievable. There he is, the great man. He's coming in. He's got 5 premiership medallions on his neck. He's given Cyril Rioli 3 votes, I reckon, in the Norm Smith medal. There is no one bigger than Derm tonight. But guys, there's only one thing that trumps Dermot Brereton tonight, and then it's this bloke, Luke Hodge, accepting the Premiership Cup.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge moment for any club. And actually, you left out they lost their top assistant coach with Bolton leaving as well and going to Carlton late in the season. But no, incredible times. The boys, there's a few 3 fingers up. Hodgie's got 4 up there, and quite rightly, with his 4 premierships now. And
let's not forget the tragedy of Brett Ratton and his son Cooper being killed in that car accident in the last 2 months. So there's been so much to overcome. But I must admit, I look at that and I see the great Peter Knights, number 24, one of the greatest players of all time, who works at the club, and to hand over the trophy to Alistair Clarkson and Luke Hodge.
Great moment, I think. What defines them is how they've handled adversity. I think last year we saw that it was so unlikely they'd be able to get through the adversity they went through with injury and illness to Alistair Clarkson, and to survive that and win. They've backed it up again this year. They've had a lot of that adversity, and that shows the strength of their leaders in their footy club, their mental resilience to just continue on, put that aside, and still perform on the day. Tremendous character by those men.
And Lynch, it was done in similar circumstances, wasn't it? When you consider they just crushed them in the first quarter. The Eagles aided and abetted their own demise in many ways with bad accuracy. But when you get to quarter time and you're the best part of 4 goals in front, that's a pretty handy start.
Well, the players are the last ones to realise the game's over on the scoreboard, because you think we just need another goal, you need another goal. But you get to a situation like that and you have a chat at 3-quarter time and you can celebrate in the last quarter. It's something to behold, and this is their domination. 13, 14, 15, 2012 were runners up. 2008, it's been an amazing era for this great football club.
Guys, 2 minutes into the game, Luke Shuey kicked a goal, and you thought, right, OK, they're on here. Natanui got the first bounce out of the centre. It was all go.
Yep.
And then the 3-minute 30 mark, this bloke imposed himself for the first time on the game. His name was Cyril Rioli, and at the end of the game, he was the Norm Smith medalist. His uncle, of course, the great Maurice Rioli, winning the Norm Smith medal in 1982. Dermot Brereton's just done a lap of honour around our studio here. Dermot was one of the vote givers today. There he is, Dermot. He's very happy. There he is. He'll be joining us in a few moments' time. But guys, I looked through my highlights list here where I've watched the game and put it all down. And Cyril is just about in every highlight all through the game.
Set up most of their scoring, didn't he? He was fantastic. He kicked a couple early, but then I reckon he may have had 5 or 6 direct goal assists, which nearly have to be a world record, I would have thought.
He contributed more on the scoreboard than the West Coast Eagles did themselves.
The other thing too was small defender. They don't have any small defenders really, West Coast. A lot of medium-type defenders, so that was going to be an issue leading into the game. Whether they could defend Bruce, Rioli or Ploppo, one of them could get off the chain, and Rioli clearly got off the chain.
And I must admit, Ryan Schoenmaker's game and the acclamation he was receiving right throughout it just showed that they value the guys who've missed in the past. He got his chance today, and away he went. Billy Hartung missed out, but Ryan Schoenmaker and deserved his spot.
Just noticing there that Sam Mitchell 9 votes, Frawley 4, and Hodge 2. Sam Mitchell has come second, I think, in 3 Norm Smith medals.
Yeah, he's been right up there, isn't he?
Hasn't he?
And he's 16th 30 plus for the season.
And the key matchup, Frawley and Kennedy all day. Kennedy had 5 possessions with about 5 minutes to go. I just couldn't see it all. The delivery by West Coast was poor going in. Didn't have a lot of inside 50s, but Frawley was outstanding. To think 4 weeks ago, Hawthorn were getting potted for that trade. To get Frawley from Melbourne to Hawthorn after they played him in the forward line in that first final, he struggled. He's came back now. He stopped Walker, stopped Pavlich in the preliminary last week. Now he stops Kennedy. Another classy move, great move by Alistair Clarkson.
They're familiar names, aren't they? Hodge 2, he's got 2 Norm Smiths. Frawley is now welcomed into the Hawthorn Premiership fraternity. And they've got 4, but that bloke's got 5. It's not bad, is it? He'll be back to tell us in a few moments' time about each and every one of them. The Hawks are the premiers in 2015.
You're watching Grand Final Day on Fox. Post-game. Congratulations, Hawthorn.
Welcome back as we recap the 2015 Toyota AFL Premiership won by the Hawthorn Football Club. A hat-trick of wins now for Hawthorn the last 3 years, 4 grand finals in a row. And Dermot Brereton, a man who has won 5 premierships for the Hawthorn Football Club, was one of the voters for the Norm Smith medal. It was won today by Cyril Rioli. We know that Derm, earlier this year on Fox Footy, had his own show with Cyril Rioli. We know how much he loves him. So, Derm, I gather you gave him the 3 votes.
I gave him 2 in.
You gave him...
Oh, what's going on?
I gave him 2 votes.
You were embarrassed to give him 3, weren't you?
I was. I shamed myself into not giving him 3.
So what were your
That's
votes?
treason.
Okay. You're right,
Treason.
Brownie. I gave 3 to Sammy Mitchell, who was incredibly good.
He was magnificent.
2 to Cyril Rioli. And I gave 1 vote to a bloke who, for all accounts, he was probably held up as the man who lost it in the first final in Perth. Yeah, he was made to be the scapegoat, James Frawley, in the media.
Unfairly, playing in the forward line.
Absolutely, it was unfair. I gave him 1 vote today. I thought he was fantastic.
He was
so 1 to Frawley, 2 to Rioli, 3 to Sammy Mitchell, who was incredible once again.
Who would you have given your Norm Smith to, Brad?
Cyril Rioli by a mile. They engraved it at half time. I saw the engraver. I walked past him. He was halfway through his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have gone Cyril, Mitchell, Frawley. So pretty.
Oh, you folks are just rubbing it in now.
No, seriously, you're kidding yourself. You said if he had 3 touches, you were going to give him 3 votes before the game.
Hey, Derm,
And that scared me away from it. Yeah.
Bloke called Brian Lake was pretty handy early on.
He was
too.
good, wasn't he? Yeah. So there are all those voting principles about when the game's being won. That's when you make your assumptions or your judgments.
We'll all go over that. Tell me what it means to you tonight to be a happy team at Hawthorn.
Yeah. It's really exciting. It's wonderful. I'm thrilled for them. They're a wonderful club. For a team which was called the Mayblooms, the easy pickings 50 years ago, it's just an extraordinary win.
Do you ever sit back, Derm, in the last hour or so and think of that night at Hawthorn when the club was about to merge, when there was civil war within the ranks, when great Hawthorn people were dragged down, when the great Alan Jeans was up there yelling at the Hawthorn faithful as if they were the enemy? All that high emotion, it's easy to forget that. I mean, here we are, not that long later, and it's a whole new treasure trove of success for Hawthorn.
Well, you know what it did do, Ed? We went from about 6,000 members to 16 overnight. And it was like shock therapy for the members to actually band together and say, this is our club, we want it to remain the way it was. Ian Dicker came to me on the board and he said, my target's to get 30,000 members within 2 years. And I looked at him and went, oh, you serious, Ian? Come on, get a realistic target. And he got there in flying colours. So they were, from those days, it shocked Hawthorn supporters who were fairly latent until that point of time, shocked them into action, and it's been incredible. They've come along with the right 72,000 they've got now.
Yeah, well done to Andrew Newbold, the president of the Hawthorn Football Club, a fantastic bloke and a great leader, and to Jeff Kennett and to Ian Dicker. Of course, the 3 presidents in the Renaissance period of the Hawthorn Football Club. They've done a fantastic job. Let's go down to David King now in the lab for his thoughts on the premiership team of 2015 Hawthorn.
They have another 6 players have won 4 premierships now, Jared. They're still rolling. They could win it again next year. Who knows? They joined 59 other players in AFL history that have done it so far out of the 13,000 odd that have played. So they do the basics really well. We want to look at the pressure gauge and just illustrate their dominance and their ability to put their opposition under pressure in finals has been absolutely first rate.
Well, we've seen it not just this year and today. We've seen it last year on display. And once again, the pressure gauge, when you get +5, you're going to win almost every gauge. +32 is outrageous in a grand final. final.
What about Frawley versus Kennedy? Boys just touched on it up there, and Dermy gave him the one vote in the Norm Smith voting. He was fantastic today, Frawley. Kennedy had 9 possessions, 6 after half-time. The game was over at half-time. He only took 6 marks. The first time he's been held scoreless for almost 50 games.
It was a flawless performance by Frawley. I mean, every defence is aided and abetted by the midfield and the forward pressure. They got some assistance there, but Frawley still had to play one-on-one against the man heralded as the best forward in the game. And he created so much chaos for him. He's produced probably his worst performance for some years for the West Coast Eagles.
Just getting some feedback down here, Jared. don't turn around. I don't suggest you turn around, Jared. But just having a look at the Hawks' accuracy and their ability. I think in 2012 they relied heavily on Lance Franklin's accuracy. If he had a bad day at the office, they'd generally be hard-pressed to get the victory. And they lost that 2012 grand final, and by design went to this new look forward line. A lot smaller, a lot more creative. And have a look at the returns. Their accuracy has gone through the roof. The most accurate team in the competition every year from that point forward.
Well, they learned their lesson, didn't they? And it's benefited them with 3 premierships. And a lot of it's to do with where they get the ball. They get so many shots from in that 30-metre arc directly in front of goal. Yep. They also got some great talent like Luke Hodge producing one of the goals of grand final history, where he just laid back on the left and dobbed a boomerang. There was a lot of fantastic performances. And Jack Gunston is a great sharpshooter. He's also been terrific, and what an inclusion he was.
Yeah, been amazing in front of goal, the Hawks. The game was won today by their defensive half transitioning, their ability to go coast to coast against the West Coast. And that had been their main strength defensively all year, the West Coast, their ability to stifle the opposition. On average, they concede 33 points a game. Today it was 52, and that's the gap in the game. They were too easily able to get the ball out of their defensive 50.
Yeah, they just didn't function at all in outside of stoppages and clearances. They didn't have really one asset, and one of their strengths became one of their weaknesses, all again because of just manic pressure from Hawthorn. And you just look at some of their great strengths. If you look at the size of the midfield for the West Coast Eagles, they've got some work to do. When you can put a Jared Roughhead in there, he doesn't kick goals, he got 1 today, but he had 30-odd possessions. It just goes to show the flexibility that Alistair Clarkson has built into this group.
A lot of feedback down here, Ed. A lot of feedback, a lot of conversation in the background that I hope you didn't hear most of.
That's okay, boys. I'll tell you what, everyone looks really intelligent on those phones behind you, waving their hands, don't they, guys? Hey, you mentioned Frawley. There was one key incident, I thought, key play, boys, at the 16-minute mark of the third quarter. When the ball came in, it was Frawley versus Kennedy. Frawley backed himself in, got the ball, kicked it down. Gunston took the mark, kicked the goal. And had it gone the other way, it would have been down to a 18-point game at that stage. It went the other way, and it was, it would have been 19-point. And it jumped back up to 31 points, and that was it after that. Hawks kicked the next 4, game over.
They're well suited. Kennedy's well suited, Frawley's well suited for Kennedy. So we know Kennedy likes to lead straight at the kicker. Frawley is probably the quickest defender in the competition, certainly taller defender. I've played him a few times. He's extremely strong in a one-on-one contest, Lynchy.
So if he keeps it basic, he's a really good negating defender. Once he tries to complicate it and spread off, that can get a bit nasty for him.
All right, boys, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and have a look at all the highlights of the grand final. And don't forget on Monday night, a bit...
Hawthorn have done it. The first team in the 18-team competition to go back to back. They're 3 Peters.
My hero, Jack.
Thanks, buddy. Good work. Great stuff.
Yeah, it's wonderful scenes out on the MCG. The brown and gold again, dominating in September and October, winning the premiership, and wonderful to see Peter Knights up on stage here with Alistair Clarkson and Luke Hodge. All right, guys, let's have a recap of the game now, and let's roll the video and have a look at the first quarter. And started off, it was all the Eagles. Nick Natanui jumped out of the box, and they had a rush behind on the board within the first 15 seconds of the game. This one goes down, and then moments later, 2 minutes in, and Shuey gets grabbed high. Did he or not? It was a bit lucky, but he took the free kick and put it through, and the West Coast Eagles on the board leading by 7 points after 2 minutes. Then, moments later, Cyril Rioli was there. Roughhead, great stuff. Just turned, used his body, then got the handball inside. Rioli, one look and a snap, bang, goal, and Cyril was on the board. Big McAvoy stood up, took a big mark there, and Sheed wasn't able to get the punch in, and suddenly the Hawks were looking ominous early. Rioli again, show and makers, didn't panic going inside 50, and then Cyril with that hamstring that has been so twitchy over the years, dude, just went bang and stuck it straight through. Birchall got another goal here. Watch this one come through. Mitchell's little handball, lightning, opened it up. Birchall lines it up, puts it through. Hawk cheer squad acclaims, and then Hill in general play. Watch this one, great play here. Just got out the back, and this was magnificent. Look, Cyril knew what was going on. The Eagles stopped. They didn't know what to do. Cyril turns around, one step, one kick, bang, and Hill runs in and puts it through. And the Hawks led by 19 points at quarter time.
Let's tear your hair out, Stafford, in the second quarter. Luke Hodge, does he like a big moment in a big game? The ball goes over the top here. It feeds back to him from Puopolo, who tries to milk a free kick. He measures it up, kicks the banana from the boundary. That's from the Nick Malcheski pocket. And then Jack Gunston, after a run down, he gets the give over the top, and a pretty easy snap over the top in the end. Cyril once again involved in an assisted goal, Brownie. Gunston finishes off for 2 in a row there. But then Isaac Smith in the first half, I just felt that the ground was a little too wide for the Eagles to defend the way they like defending. Smith's able to get the long kick in. And then at the other end, Josh Hill, very clever little kick in. Watch him continue on here, picks the ball up and lays it across the body. That is a really well crafted goal. And then Elliot Yeo takes a mark and goal on half-time. Didn't have high possessions, but I like his craft, Elliot Yeo. He likes contact, and that's a finals footballer, half-time.
He did. Gave him a sniff of a hope there at half-time. 31 points it was to him. Darling came straight out. At this stage, you thought maybe the Eagles going to run over the top of him on a hot day. Good finish by Darling, who had a quiet day. But then straight after it, Cyril again, another goal, assist, or certainly set this score up. He was involved. Good crumb by Brad Hill there. And then a nice little follow-up by Sean Makers. Had a really good game. He's this year's Matthew Spanger, that's for sure. See here now, Hutchins keeps them still in the game. For a period of about 15 minutes in the third quarter, they traded goals, the Eagles, with the Hawks. Still a sniff. And then finally we move down. We go to James Frawley, who, again, look at that, spoils off Kennedy, runs forward, bombs it in, sticks to his strengths. And Gunston, virtually uncontested mark. Brad Shepherd would have been disappointed that he didn't fly and spoil. And that was really the one that sort of broke the Eagles back, I would have thought. Look at this, Cyril. This is the first, second, third nail in the coffin for the mighty Hawks. Poppy, they're so unselfish. They waited for Gunston to get clear and get behind that Eagles web. Gunston was fantastic all day. Isaac Smith, have a look at this. You wouldn't mind one of these on grand final day. Obviously, we saw Hodges earlier on. Great finish there by Isaac Smith, who kicked his 3 goals and was fantastic all day out on the wing with his hard running. Then Sam Mitchell, quick little handball, taps it away. Suckling, who was the sub, came on and had an impact with a nice left foot goal. 3-quarter time there, home.
And they're on all sorts of strife. Need a miracle in the last quarter of the West Coast Eagles, but once again, it was Hawthorn. Cyril goes long, and Ruffy on the goal line. Might have gone through. That would have got 3 votes out of your derm for Cyril. But Ruffy goes back, kicks his only goal for the game after a massive game of 26. Good tackle there. Pressure on, congested ball. Here's a smother from Roughhead. Still, they keep going. Pressure on again. High contact. Luke Bruce gets the free kick. Play on. And Isaac Smith kicks his 3rd, and he continues on his merry way. This one, Josh Hill, needed a goal, had a quiet day, and Brian Lake, once again, great smother to his ex-teammate. Josh Kennedy, desperate for a goal, goes back, hasn't kicked one all day, had a very quiet day, outplayed by James Frawley, misses, that's gone 35 metres, and extremely disappointing, and there's the final siren, and Hawthorn 3 in a row, they win by 46 points, and their 13th premiership, and 13 premierships since 1960, Ed, which is an incredible effort, and they celebrate long and hard. A great day for Hawthorn and a great day for the Hawthorn fans.
Yeah, that attendance, I think it was actually 98,633 today, not 93. So 98,633. A magnificent effort for the Hawthorn Football Club. And as you can see, the Hawks, they lost the last quarter by 4 points, but by that stage they got out to a 10-goal lead and decided we don't want to get injured for the end-of-season trip now. We'll just run around and take it nice and easy at this stage. All the names were there, all the big fellas fired. I don't think they had a loser, to be perfectly honest. All right, let's go down to the Hawthorn rooms now. And, well, Sean Burgoyne has been a superstar. He won a premiership with the Port Adelaide side. He's won 3 with Hawthorn. Now he's with Cam Mooney.
Shorty, mate, unbelievable. 4 premierships, buddy. 3 here at the Hawks. How you feeling, mate?
Oh, unbelievable. You know yourself, this is why we play footy, to experience this. And when you're actually in the moment, you're living the dream. And, you know, we're quite blessed that we're in a really good time of the club where we have an opportunity of success, and we are. And I don't think it's going to sink in for a while, and it may not sink in until we've retired, to be honest.
What about the game itself? I mean, that first quarter, they came out pretty well. Yeah. They kicked that first goal, but after that, things just seemed to work brilliantly for you guys after that.
Yeah, we had real extreme confidence in the way we go about, and, you know, we waited 2 years to get one back on Sydney, and, you know, we waited 2 weeks to get this back, and that first final really burned deep in our guts, and, you know, we knew it was going to be a 4-quarter effort, and, you know, we knew the heat was going to be a factor, but they had to deal with that as well, and, you know, we just wanted to work hard for 4 quarters and to grind away, and, you know, we were able to do that. Even though they got the start, we were still pretty confident that we could obviously get back into the game.
What about your little mate Cyril?
Unbelievable. You know, I just kept wording him up, take him on, mate, chase him down. His run down tackle is unbelievable, and just the enthusiasm he gets amongst the group, and I love it that he got the Norm Smith today. He's one of my favourites.
Shorty, 4-time, mate. Congratulations, brother. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Shawnee Burgoyne now behind only Michael Tuck and, of course, Gordon Cuttington as far as games played in finals. He sticks a 4th premiership goal. Durham, they're going nuts behind us, mate. Here we go. Let's listen to it. Come on. Guys, is there, hang on, guys. There's only one thing better than singing the Hawthorn theme song at the moment, and let's have a look at the highlights of Cyril Rioli, okay?
Cyril Rioli got on the board nice and early. We can't hear ourselves thinking about it.
It wasn't just his shots for goal. He chased down tackles, as we see all the time. His ability to just get a hand in, so it's not a stat, but he just puts pressure on the ball carrier. His first quarter was dynamic.
When you look at everything that was a scoring opportunity, Brownie, Cyril was either an architect or involved in it. Like, even that's not a stat, but just moving the ball on like that, he's incredible the way, and the desire to follow up with the tackle. Now, this one, Hutchings thinking, I've got 10 on him, I'm safe.
I'll tell you what he did do as well. He's been watching Gerard all year, bang on about the web while Cyril was licking his lips. He thought, I'm going to be the man that is going to blow this web up, and he was running that hard forward and getting behind. He could have kicked more goals, could have kicked 5 in the first quarter, Ed, because he was that far clear and out the back on his own with his elite speed. He's so exciting. He's nearly my favourite player too. He's nearly got me across to him.
Okay. All right, hang on. What is better than singing the song and seeing Cyril? How about Sam Mitchell?
Sammy Mitchell, what a game again. They ran head-to-head, the two midfields. Mitchell's hands were incredible. The one I thought, which is coming up in a second, is his handball that goes underneath the armpits, underneath the tackling arms of his opponents to give the ball to Suckling in the third quarter. Look at all these opportunities where he ferries the ball out and gets the ball in a much... Watch this. Bobble under the armpits here. There's 15 players around him, and he looks to the bloke furthest from him. His vision is incredible under pressure. Watch there, underneath. He goes under the hands.
What they did a lot better. They extracted the ball from the stoppages a lot better than the West Coast did. And they sharked Nat Newey's taps all day. Yeah, Lewis was there, Mitchell was there, Hodge at times. They would shark those taps and then get it out. They were clean with the hands. Then they were able to move forward with good precision, Litchy.
And we spoke to Sam Mitchell earlier in the week. He's enjoying his football more than he ever has, and so he should as well. He's got no leg speed, but his awareness, how he uses the ball, is first class.
He's accepted how quick his body's moving now, and so he's learned how to play as a 32-year-old as well. And arguably he's in the peak of his career.
I've heard about Sam Mitchell from you, and then now let's hear from the man himself with Brad Johnson.
Mitch just taking the boots off there, mate, but just another successful year for the club. You got 4 now. How do you feel?
Overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Oh, very fatigued. Too hot for footy today, but I don't know. Found it more emotional. I think my kids are a little bit older, and now that I'm probably a bit older too, I'm realising the gravity of it.
Mate, there's some great photos you're going to have now for your entire life. You're able to get the family up on the stage and laying on the ground with them there, mate. You go through everything with the family, and it's great that you can celebrate with them.
Yeah, I told them to stay off the stage, but they couldn't help themselves. They just follow along like little ducklings. But, I mean, when you got little kids, it sort of changes your motivations. You know, early in my career I was probably motivated by proving people wrong, and the last 5-6 years it's just been about, you know, making your kids proud and whatever works.
It was hot early, and the leaders stood up today. Yourself, Hodgie, Cyril was brilliant in the first quarter. Defensively, you were able to get things going, which enabled you to steady into the game to secure what was another big win.
Yeah, we take great pride in our defence. You know, they're going to always talk about our offensive power and #1 scoring team and all that, but you know, we pride ourselves on our defence. And though we were outstanding, we kept them to 1 goal for a major period of the game, and you know, that was the difference. Sure, we kicked really well at goal, which helps as well.
Mate, you're stiff. I know Cyril was brilliant today to win the Norm Smith, but yourself again, mate. You just dominated another big game, but really, the votes could have gone to about 8 blokes who really controlled their opponents.
Yeah, that's what we try to do, spread the love.
Good man.
He's winding me up, so we better go.
Better done. Well done, mate. Congratulations.
Stand up, turn around.
He's out of control.
I feel like I'm in the goal square again.
There you go.
Oh, good fun.
They're enjoying themselves down here.
Good fun.
Now, let's see if we can get some sense out of all this from Jared Hilly and David King and the lad. Boys, good luck.
Yeah, we're thrilled you got him going, Ed, because they're about to walk around here now. Look out, Jared, they're
Where's
coming.
Jason Dunster when you need him?
Jason would be good in this sort of environment, I reckon.
He'd be absolutely perfect.
Let's have a look at what we thought was a critical part of the game today, and that was Hawthorn's ability to go wide around the web and make it a contested marking game, make it 2-on-1 in their favour, and stay out of the traffic, out of the congestion of the web, Jared. They were able to go coast to coast all day today.
Too often, wasn't it? And it just came down to probably a little bit of width of the MCG, but the lack of pressure from the West Coast Eagles really did tell. Doesn't matter what plan you've got. If you've got no pressure or poor pressure, you're going to have this broken tackles, blokes running to assist. They also had another strategy, David, that we talked about earlier in the match, and that was kicking the high ball in and then surging to the fall of the ball. And you see the outnumber here. One young bloke in his second or third year up against 3 players. This was a masterful tactic, well thought through and certainly well executed.
Their contested marking was a feature today, and their tools really played their part. But as much as the strategy was involved, the effort of the West Coast Eagles players was probably their worst performance for the year defensively, Jared.
Yeah, it looked like they had the lead boots. The grand final lead boots is a killer. The web always gives up the outside kick, and too often they were able to take it. Now, this is a performance that I think Schofield will not be really happy with. He goes to ground, a nice missed tackle there. It was set up an opportunity for one of the great goals. And Luke Hodge took that opportunity.
He certainly did, Jared. A fantastic piece of play. Let's go back to the rooms and catch up with Cameron Mooney, who's got James Frawley with him.
Stuart, mate, you just won an AFL premiership. You're a premiership player, incredible. But more importantly, you got your family here hugging. There's some tears there, mate.
Yeah, the old man got a bit emotional, mate. Yeah, I'm just happy to celebrate with my 22 teammates and my family here now, and yeah, I'm so excited. What's coming up next few weeks, we can celebrate and enjoy it.
Tell me the feeling when that siren goes, because people don't understand when that siren goes, what goes through your body.
I think I probably started before the siren, mate. Probably 5 minutes ago, I started looking around the crowd, just trying to soak in the atmosphere and that, mate. But oh, mate, it's an unbelievable feeling. I can't describe it, mate. It's a weird feeling. You do a lap of honour, everyone's cheering your name, and Oh, mate, it's unbelievable.
What about your job today on Kennedy? I mean, everyone was talking, if West Coast win today, Josh Kennedy kicks, a bag full. You were absolutely brilliant on it today. How'd you go about it?
I just try to, do a normal job like I do every home and away game, and prepared normal. I know he likes to, he's a good player. He likes to run around and high work rate and stuff. So try to conserve a bit of energy, and he's a great player, mate. So you've got your hands full for the day, but I'm just happy to play my role for the team and get the job done.
Hey, I think you deserve to go and get a nice cold one, mate. Congratulations. It's been a long road to get here. Well done.
A bit parched, mate. I need a Carlton draft, I think.
It's a great story, isn't it, Joe? Why wouldn't you go to Hawthorn as a free agent? You'd nearly be ringing them saying, how much I'm prepared to take a pay cut, I want to come and win a premiership with you.
Gil McLaughlin would be worried about this. In a serious point of view, there'll be a lot of his former teammates sitting there saying, well, OK, I'm at free agency time. Why don't I try and hunt myself a flag? Used to be one player every now and again. Now it's the floodgates are open.
The Hawks have got this manic pressure that we don't talk about enough. They're great with ball in hand. They're a very skillful team. They've got enormous talent on every line. But what they do better than most is tackle, is harass, is force the opposition into turnover. You can see here, it's almost 6 versus 2. And the West Coast Eagles would have cleared this 1,000 times through the course of the season. But Shaun Mackers, in comes Roughhead, Bruce. They find a way, second, third, fourth efforts to put the chaos into that back six of the West Coast Eagles.
There's a combination of great second and third efforts by the Hawks, and once again the lead boots of the West Coast Eagles. They couldn't get them off until just after half time. That ball comes out. That should have been cleared 14 times. And yet it came to another one of the masterful left footers, and it was Birchall slotting it through the goals.
I thought the stoppage battle was interesting today, and I thought Alistair Clarkson brought in a tactic to just guard the outside, not to totally ring the stoppage if you like, but just make sure that any dominance that Nick Naitanui had from the hit-out advantage wasn't going into space. It was staying in tight, which allowed their pressure game to become a component. Sinclair was in the ruck on that occasion there, but they did it all day. If West Coast did get the clearance, Jared, they clamped them immediately. It was 3 goals all from stoppages, and well, that's the game.
That's the number that Alistair Clarkson will be worried about. He won't be caring who gets the stoppage. He wants to know about scores from stoppages. And they had those outriders, as we just saw on the graphic there, guarding space, but they want enough ball inside to compete in that area. And again, another clinical exhibition by the Hawks under Alistair Clarkson.
There are big moments there today. This game was in the balance early. It was a real arm wrestle early. West Coast had their way, and Luke Shuey kicked a fantastic set shot goal here, and I thought this is exactly what they need, a confidence booster, one of their stars, really getting them off to a good start.
Off the back of a great tap and kick out of the centre from Nick Naitanui, and a couple of their stars were there. And then there was this follow-up motion. That had to be a handball. You can see that there was probably a little bit of arms there. You can understand why
he has to give that, Jared. He just has to give that.
But if you're going to hit it, you're going to have to make it count, and I'm sure that'll get featured down the track. This was quite superb. A couple of contested marks going back with a flighted ball. And what about this one? Luke Hodge. Line up, Hodgie.
He's a star, isn't he? He is a star. You just can't say enough about his leadership and his courage. Same thing again here. He had 3 options, maybe 4 options, and he went with the 5th option, Jared.
Well, I think he was trying to be too unselfish on this occasion, but the obvious one was just a handball sideways. They run it into goal. Jack Darling struggled a fair bit today, and he should have taken that one. And clinically, the Hawks go forward and show them how it's done.
Just the best decision makers, aren't they? They're just the best decision makers, the Hawks. At the end of it all, that's all you can say is that they make the right decision at the right time. Quick handball there.
There he was, the medalist, an intercept that very few players can read and deliver, and it creates another goal for Jumping Jack.
And there's smother there from Roughhead. We got the smother from Lake late in the game just to save it. And Cyril again. He's just involved in everything, Jerry. He had a fantastic day. And it didn't come down to moments at the end of the game, but when the game was there to be separated, I thought the leaders of the Hawks had far more impact with their moments than that of the West Coast Eagles.
Yeah, and I think that final one there probably just summed it up. Josh Hill didn't quite have the intensity required, and the Hawks showed him how to do it.
We're getting close to the locals, Jared.
We are, the Hawks. I think they're pretty happy. We're going for 4 in a row. 4
They're a greedy group down here. You've got Alistair Clarkson on the couch on the couch on Monday night.
Yeah, we penciled him in at the start of the year, and he's delivered again for us.
I might come and sit with you for the next 10 minutes or so, Ed.
Boys, it's going to be a big summer coming up too. Have a look at this for a lineup on the Mighty Fox. Welcome back to the MCG and wonderful scenes. This is the most happy time of them all, isn't it, boys? After the game, you're in there with your family and your friends, and, well, all the hard work comes to fruition.
Well, absolutely it does. I think after the first one here, Brownie, we didn't leave till about 9 o'clock.
Really?
We didn't just sit in there. We actually went out. Once the sun went down, got a photo in the middle of the ground. It was great to spend some time. Then, after that, go celebrate with the fans.
Brownie, your memories?
Well, I remember going into the coach room once we'd done the lap of honour and all those sorts of things. Special moment, we all went into the coach's room, just the players and the coaches, and we, arm in arm, we sang the song together. And then we spoke about the bloke beside you, why you love playing with him, what he brought to the table.
Who were you next to?
Moment. Well, I was next to Craig McRae, and Craig McRae said, I love it when you say, just run and by me, Brownie, me little forward. So, yeah, I felt 10 foot tall.
I was next to Lee Matthews, and we don't call Lee Barn. And after the first one, I said, Lee, can we call you Barn now? And he said, Winchy, you can always call me Barn.
I thought you were the only one that called him Barn when you played for him, too.
Yeah, when you're teammates with the great Lee Matthews, you got to call him Barney. Yeah, it changed a bit, though, Eddie. In the old days, when we first started winning premierships at Hawthorn, we didn't spend as long. It was like you did your business. The coach spoke to you, then you went back to the club and celebrated, and you showed the cup off to the members and lots. We didn't get a chance as a team in those days. It's sort of evolved into what you guys have made. But one thing we did have, Alan Jeans used to take us into the room and he used to tell us what we meant to him. And that, to me, is some of the most cherished memories in my life. Those speeches.
Oh, great times.
It is amazing, isn't it? The money's great in footy. There's no doubt about that. But you know that you blokes would play for free just for those memories. And the guys today, 22 of them, just put another pocket full of memories away. Their families are in there. That makes it even better. All right, Derm, are you ready? Prepare yourself. Brad Johnson's with your man, Cyril Rioli.
Cyril, congratulations. Norm Smith medal and another premiership.
Oh, definitely. You know, the premierships are what we play for, and the Norm Smith today was just a bonus. So.
Mate, did you think about it at all during the game? You must have at some point gone, well, we're having a pretty decent game today.
Oh, no, not really. I just wanted to play my role for the team, and I was fortunate enough to get a few marks today, so and kick a couple goals early, which helped the team. So.
Mate, you really, it was yourself, it was Mitch, Hodgie, that first quarter that really set it up. The toughness around the contest from the leaders within Hawthorn really set the game apart.
Oh, definitely. You know, we got some really good leaders, and you know, there's a middle core group that that really shows some stuff. So, you know, we worked as hard as we can to get a good run on, and fortunate for us, it worked.
You've got a few. Everyone in the room's got a few medals now, but a couple of first timers today. Chip Frawley, Ryan Shellmakers.
Oh, definitely, yeah. So you know, proud of the boys and the way they went about it. You know, for Shuey, you know, whether or not he was going to play, but you know, the way he went about it today was.
Mate, that run-down tackle was just so inspirational to watch from the grandstands. But that sort of stuff is the type of inspiration that your teammates thrive from yourself.
Yeah, you know, going into the game, you know, the three small forwards, you know, Poppy and Brewster as well. You know, that was our mindset to put the pressure on and chase from behind. So. Yeah, it was good to get that chase down.
Well, Cyril, you're a star, mate. We love watching you. Dermy says big congratulations as well. Maybe hold up the medals for Dermy down the barrel there.
There you go, Dermy.
Well done, mate. Congratulations.
Cheers, Johnny.
Beautiful, Cyril.
All right, well, Dermot couldn't find 3 votes for Cyril. That's going to break a relationship up, I reckon, when he finds up about it. But let's go down to David King now. Remember the old Sun scores, Dermot, the old Sun News pictorial?
Out of 10.
All right, well, we've got our Fox scores tonight, and Kingy's going to start with Hawthorn.
We're going to spin through them, Ed, and hopefully we can give you a rating out of 10 and see if you can agree or disagree with us. We'll start with Jared Ruffhead. Lynchy, you watched his game closely. He had 26 disposals and kicked a very important goal. Lynchy, did you give him a rating?
Yeah, 8 out of 10, and he spent a bit of time up through the midfield as well, so played a really valuable role.
Jordan Lewis was fantastic today, Jared. He was everywhere, 26 disposals as well. He had 5 clearances. We've given him 6 out of 10. He's probably a better contributor to that, but he caught up with Moons just a moment ago.
Well, Louis, 4-time now, mate. Does it ever get boring?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's we kept it interesting this year. At least we unfortunately lost first up, and then we're playing for our lives every week. And I mean that we did it a different way, but it's a bit surreal at the moment.
I know it's always hard to compare, but does this one make it a little bit more special because you had to go that long way around?
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, the older you get, and the more you appreciate it, but the more people are coming at you, and the more people want to find a way to write you off. And I mean, to come out here and display what we did today, I thought our pressure was outstanding, and that was probably the catalyst for the way that we played, but it doesn't get any better. It's good.
What about the start of the year? I mean, you guys were 4-4. Everyone was starting, like you said, probably writing off a little bit, asking questions, to then come and do what you've done today. I mean, the feeling at the end, when that siren went, must have just been amazing again, mate.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you've been in a position where you're at the top of the ladder for a long period of time, so it's really hard to maintain that, that form. And we had a bit of a lapse early on in the season, but we just had to get top 4 and give ourselves a second chance. Thankfully, we did.
Took little Freddie up onto the stage.
Yeah, I was kicking my dacks. He was good, slept the whole way, so I'll have to remind him of that in years to come.
Congratulations, buddy. Couldn't be happy for you.
Thanks, mates.
Very happy team at Hawthorn, Jerry. Let's go down to Matt Suckling now. Come on as the sub, kick the goal. He'll be thrilled with that. We give him a 5 out of 10. It's very hard to rate his performance. You got Sam Mitchell.
Well, I thought Sam Mitchell was stiff not to win the Norm Smith medal, and Sam Mitchell has again produced another great grand final. Gave him 9 out of 10.
Josh Gibson is a tough one to judge. It's hard to see his match up from time off the screen there. 6 out of 10. Today could have given him a 7. He was very good. Some of his spalling work and his intercept work was fantastic. Ben McAvoy, Lynchy, you had him.
Yeah, it didn't have a massive impact, using his body around the stoppages at different times, but I think only 6 disposals. Gave him a 5 out of 10, so serviceable.
Taylor Giray, David, hasn't he had a fantastic final series? And again, it was flawless today. Had some time on Lacroix, who really struggled. He was quite a superb performer at 7 out of 10.
26 disposals, a fantastic performance for him. Sean Burgoyne, regardless of his disposals and his possessions, Jerry, his impact in the game was significant. I thought his leadership was outstanding. He got an 8 out of 10. You could probably push for a 9. Brad Hill is an amazing performer for them. He plays a fantastic role, that overlap, run and gun. Didn't get as much of the ball as what he would have liked tonight, so he gave him a 6 out of 10. He caught up with Jono just moments ago.
Hilly, congratulations, mate. Just another great game from yourself. How you feel?
Yeah, I'm over the moon. I know it feels like a dream come true. As a kid, you'll be happy to get 1, and I've been lucky to play 3 in a row, and I'm just over the moon, and it's unreal.
Nice little goal you kicked today as well, mate. You got the ball on the wing and then just was able to sneak around the boundary line. I reckon you stepped out at one point too and then just stuck back in.
I don't think they saw me, so I got out the back, which is good. I just want to go out there and play my role, run out there and make the ground big for my teammates, and I didn't really care if I didn't get the ball long as I opened up holes for my teammates.
Billy, did Cyril inspire you early in the game because he was on? He really set the tone, didn't he?
Yeah, he was on all day, taking screamers, kicking goals. He was doing everything today.
And your skipper as well, Hodgie, another great performance. Goal from the boundary line, wasn't bad either.
I saw him get it. I thought he was going to centre it out first, and he just went with a snap and went in, and it was an awesome goal from him.
Well, another premiership, mate. Enjoy, celebrate hard.
Cheers, thank you.
Brad Johnson with Bradley Hill. Let's talk about one of the great performances of the finals, and that is Chip Frawley. I gave him a 9. I thought he was superb, and he kept his opponent, the All-Australian, full forward to just 9 possessions.
Grant Birchall was fantastic across half-back. When he's playing good football, they counter-attack well, Jared. I'll give him an 8 out of 10. I thought he was absolutely sensational, and he caught up with Jono just moments ago as well.
Well, Grant, you're a bloody star, mate. You kill him off half-back every single week. You've done it again today. How you feel?
A little bit overwhelmed, just proud of the boys. Fantastic effort. West Coast, a real quality side, and I'm just so happy, mate. We're bloody wrapped.
A couple of players have said they're a bit overwhelmed. Just the fact, you just continue to stand up. The start of the season was tough, but you really did grind out a really successful home and away season, and then the last 3 weeks, you've got it together after that first final loss.
Yeah, that's right. We set ourselves at the start of the year to make top 4, and we did that, and we're really disappointed with our loss to the Eagles in the first final. So we were really keen today to make amends, and we're able to execute a fantastic side, mate. I'm pumped.
How wrapped are you for Ryan Showmakers?
Yeah, over the moon for him. He's done it pretty tough, and he had a really good second half of the year, and what about the crowd getting up and about for him? It was great to see, so really happy for him.
He had a great final series. So did you, mate. Congratulations once again, and go and enjoy.
Oh, we will. Don't you worry about that. Thanks, Jono.
We'll move on. Let's take a look at the Hawk captain. Another great performance by Hodgie. Gave him an 8. Could have been a 9, but you're a bit harsh on him. Isaac Smith, 26 possessions, 3 goals. That was a superb performance.
He was very important for them. Jack Gunston was another good performer. And Derm, you rated his game?
thought Jack Gunston was very good in the third quarter especially. He was able to get onto the end of some footy. And after they outscored the Eagles 5-2 in the third quarter. But once they broke the Eagles, so I thought it was their best quarter of pressure footy, the third quarter for the Eagles. But once they broke them, Gunston came to town and made the distance absolutely carved and set in stone.
4 goals to Gunston. He was fantastic in front of goals today, kicked the big ones that they needed. Lynchy, you rated the game of David Hale?
Yeah, David Hale, he didn't have a lot of the ball, only 6 disposals. Was subbed out during that third quarter and a 3, but I don't think he'd be too worried about that. He's got another premiership medal.
Bruce didn't hit the scoreboard today, Derm. What would you think of his game?
No, but what he did do is the Eagles were very worried about the 3 lower-level players in Hawthorn's forward line, so he still played his role and was dangerous by where he got to.
Ben Stratton, what do you make of his game?
I thought he was pretty good. Went on to Darling at times, part and parcel of a fantastic Hawk defence, and gave him a 7.
One of the stories of the day is Ryan Schoenmakers. All the players are talking about him in the rooms. Derm, how did you assess his day?
Well, you know what, Kingy? One thing we all dream of is playing the best game of your life in a grand final, and today, Ryan Schoenmakers did it.
I think Liam Shields is a very underrated midfielder. He puts pressure on Jared. Giving him a 7 out of 10 because he was part of that midfield that really dominated today. Paul Puopolo is another important contributor. Derm, where'd you assess his forward line work?
Once again, another role player in the Hawthorn forward line who played his part, led Ellis to the ball once. Ellis committed, he got out the back, rolled on into the Hawthorn forward line, and that was the beginning of the end for the West Coast Eagles completely.
18 possessions, 11 score involvements. Just tell us one more time about Cyril's game, Derm.
It was extraordinary. It really was extraordinary. I snookered myself, Kingy. I thought if I'm the only one who puts in a 3 on Cyril, I'll be up for a world of criticism. So I marked him kind of hard in the end.
I thought a short stepping for the first time in September.
It's the first time you failed us on grand final day, Derm, for a long time.
Mate.
Over to you, Ed.
Yeah, only 2 judges couldn't find 3 votes.
There's only 5 in it.
Yeah, Mark Thompson and you.
Oh, no.
Bomber Thompson and you were the ones who both went for Sam Mitchell.
Sack them both.
There you go. Hey, guys, we started this morning. We had a lot of fun. We had the longest kicking competition over the arrow. We know how hard it is to kick the ball 50 metres under pressure, don't we, boys? But let's see what happened this morning.
I can see a couple of the players today kicking right over the arrow.
Oh, yes, I like it.
Oh, big! Ramsey!
That is big.
Well done.
That is huge.
Bit croaky today. I've had a few. So.
Just, come on, Vincent. Oh, pretty good height.
I think Rancy's got it wrapped up and the forwards need to step up a little bit.
A lot of the big forwards thought, what hope's Rancy got?
I was sitting in the corner by myself the whole time. They were all talking about goals and Coleman medals and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, I had my golden fist with me. And
I did my calf in the prelims, so imagine me with a good calf.
Hopefully it gets straight today. There's no goals, so we'll be right.
Wow!
I saw him standing like that about 3 weeks ago at the MCG, so I've seen that before.
Drew Petrie is the winner of the Fox Footy longest kick, ladies and gentlemen.
Here it is, Drew.
Well done, Drew. 9,800 because 2 footies got nicked, so you owe us $200.
To the victors go the spoils. Big Ben McAvoy coming out of St Kilda, Burgoyne coming out of Port Adelaide, Cyril Rioli coming out of, I don't know, somewhere very special in life from the Tiwi Islands. He's just been magnificent, hasn't he, Derm? And we're going to go down to Cam Mooney because he's with Isaac Smith, who I thought today was absolutely magnificent. He picked up a vote in the Norm Smith voting and kicked 3 goals there as well. He was fantastic. Here's Cam Mooney.
Zach, 3 premierships in a row, mate. Who would have thought this when you came into the AFL, this would be you standing here right now?
Mate, it's ridiculous. You can't dream of this stuff. You can't dream it up. Growing up as a kid, you just wanted to play an AFL game. You didn't care about probably playing premierships and getting the opportunity to play in 4 and winning 3. It's just, yeah, it's fantastic.
How incredible is this footy club? Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah, it's a good footy club, but you went through a pretty good patch at Geelong Moons and we've got some good people in charge at board level and some great coaches and staff members and a great group of boys as well. So, yeah, everything's clicking at the moment. Hopefully we can keep churning it over.
What about today? I mean, they started off pretty well. I thought they started excellent. They kicked that first goal. They looked really settled. And then about 5 or 10 minutes later, you guys just seemed to have the game in control.
Yeah, I think, did Nick Nat take the first centre clearance?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh, here we go. But, yeah, sometimes it takes a little while to set the patterns of the game and play our way. But, yeah, we got there in the end. And it was just a brilliant day.
Mate, congratulations, buddy. Go and enjoy. You deserve it.
Will do, Moons. I'll enjoy it for a few days, I reckon.
Yonia Moons there with Isaac Smith. 3 goals was just sensational today. And now we know on Friday Night Footy on Fox that, David King can be pretty harsh when it comes to scoring some of the predictions going into the game. Well, now he's going to turn his attention on the Fox scores to the West Coast Eagles, who have been beaten today by 46 points. Kingy, away you go.
It's ugly, Ed. It's ugly. We'll start with Mark Lacroix, and fortunately for me, Brownie gets to do this one, Jared. Kick 1 goal too. What'd you make of his game, Brownie?
Shocker. Not a shocker, King. So, he got up in the midfield, tried to run forward, but when he was running forward, there was no ball coming down there, and I thought Taylor DeRay was fantastic on him today, so he'd be very disappointed, Mark Lacroix.
I've been harsh on Andrew Gaff. I'll give him a 2 out of 10. He had 34 disposals, but they got nothing from him, Jared. He went at 56% by foot, not quite good enough. Dom Sheed, a young player making his way. He had 11 touches. He gave him a 3 out of 10. He'd be disappointed with his game today.
Well, let me move it up to a slight positive. I thought Brad Shepherd was one of their better players today. Gave him a 7, undermanned, undersized all year. He's had a great year and he didn't disappoint on grand final day.
Elliot Yeo was unsighted today, Jared.
He was. There was no show. Elliot Yeo took a good mark and kicked a goal, but I don't think he's had a great final season. He's had a great year and hopefully he'll move on. Chris Maston also struggled along.
20 possessions, Jared. He really didn't get involved in the game. Nick Nat knew he wasn't himself today, Lynchy.
No, he certainly wasn't. Had 37 hit-outs, but nothing really down the throat of his midfielders. I've given him a 4, but that's probably a bit over, seeing though you give Gaff a 2.
Yes. Matt Prentice, been a bit harsh on Matt, but I thought his first half when the game was there to be won, he just didn't get near it. Had less than 10 possessions, finished with 25. Gave him a less than a pass, gave him a 4.
I thought Sharrod Willingham had moments today. He was physical early. Yeah. He had a couple of moments on the wing which he'd be proud of, 6 out of 10, but he was still well down on his normal impact in the game. Luke Shuey?
Well, Luke Shuey could have had an 8, could have had a 9. It was one of those games where he's busting his guts and you wouldn't question his effort. Missed a couple of opportunities to kick some goals. I gave him a 6 overall.
Jamie Cripps was in the right position a few times to get a handball received. Didn't work for him today. His pressure was okay, but really didn't get involved in the game a lot. He had 15 touches. He was a 3. Josh Kennedy, Brownie, what'd you make of his game?
Yeah, look, we see James Frawley did a fantastic job on Kennedy. He just couldn't get free because of Frawley's speed. And also the lack of ball movement by the Eagles. They were really let down there with some of their deliveries inside 50. And Kennedy paid the price. He got a late one, but Frawley got the chocolates.
Xavier Ellis had 9 disposals. He'd be really disappointed with his performance
today. I thought
today.
He started quite well, but couldn't find it after. It's 50 ranking score. It's not a great game, 4 out of 10.
Your mate, Mitch McGovern?
Thought he was positive. He was one of their better players. Went forward late in the game. We'll probably see him play there a bit more when Eric McKenzie comes back into the side. Got a pass.
Kicked 2 goals. Callum Sinclair, Lynchy?
Yeah, I thought this is where West Coast could have a real advantage with Nat Nui and Sinclair. Good young player, but no impact today too.
Matty Rosa coming on as the sub, very hard to judge their game, give him a 5 out of 10. Shannon Hearn, the captain, he had some opportunities. He had a big set shot at goal when they were just starting to make some ground, Jared. And I thought when you compare his leadership to the leadership of the Hawks, I've given him a 3 out of 10. That's probably a little bit harsh, but the gap between the leadership groups was obvious. Sam Butler, 5 out of 10. He was okay?
Yeah, he was fine. He was under siege. Anybody who held their head up in that back line, given that they were under so much pressure, was pretty good. Jack Darling had some moments, had some opportunities, could have really impacted on the game. He didn't. 3 out of 10 for Jack. And he's got such upside, they'll be looking for a big improvement from him next year.
Will Schofield had a fumbly sort of day. He was in the play a lot. The ball was down there a fair bit. They were under pressure down there, as you said, but giving him a 4 out of 10. Josh Hill, Brownie, what was he about today?
No, he got a goal there, but same story as the rest of the forwards. They didn't put a lot of pressure on either when the ball was in there. We saw quite often that they got the ball out easily, Hawthorn. They had 3 goals from kick-ins in their first half, and they put that down to lack of pressure of the West Coast forwards, which Hill was one of.
Mark Hutchings went at 38% effective disposal, Jared. So despite his solid numbers, they weren't effective enough.
Got dragged down a couple of times by Cyril Rioli. Just lacked a little composure under enormous heat. But the one thing we have found out today, Kingy, from our good friends behind us, is that next year they're calling it Hawthorn.
Hawthorn. They're on the way, Ed. Hawthorn, look out.
You have to be a pretty good club to win 4 in a row. Don't worry about that, boys. Before we do
it's about 10-7, you got it in.
It's a shitty waiting. Hey, boys, tell us about the West Coast Eagles. Many judges would think that they maybe got to the grand final a year early.
Yeah, maybe, but they showed that the system stood up over personnel. They'll get some of that personnel back, and certainly Eric McKenzie, speaking to him earlier today, he's back into full training, can't wait to get back into the side, and I think he'll be a massive inclusion next year. And that development, that experience from today, hopefully will drive West Coast to get back here in 12 months' time.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's been a fantastic year from very positive. We know that. They'll learn a lot out. They'll learn a lot about the big stage. That'll be great for their development. I think those 2 key defenders coming back in is good, because it just shows you can't win premierships if your defenders do not actually play on somebody. You need to have a couple of good, solid key defenders like Frawley, like Lake, like a Stratton that actually played directly on people, and I think they'll learn a bit from that, but they're going in the right direction.
Did that shock you today, that when they played so well at Subiaco a couple of weeks back, they really went man-on-man with the Hawks, and they were able to open up their defence, they stretched them, they did all those things, and today it just seemed like they wouldn't actually go onto their players at times.
I really think Hawthorn were pretty ordinary in that first final. They were fumbly. They were disorganised. Their defence was terribly unorganised. It was un-Hawthorn-like. And that would have been in the back of their minds, Hawthorn coming in. Obviously, Alistair Clarkson would have reminded them about that game. They were a different side out there today, Hawthorn. They didn't allow West Coast to play. And I think it showed the real difference between the two sides.
Well, the thing is that you knew what the Eagles were going to come in with, the game style, game plan. And so Hawthorn had an option, had an ability to hunt what the Eagles threw at them in game 1 of the finals, and that's what they did today. They actually had a real good fix and a knowledge of what the Eagles were going to put to them, and they hunted the Eagles. They physically got into them and then put in, on top of that, an extra 21 metres in the width of the ground, and the Eagles couldn't choke them at the source and force them to hack kicks up. And that the ground really played its part, but by God, they just gave the ball back so much, the Eagles, because it was Hawthorn on this ground that they're so used to, hunted the Eagles ball carriers.
That was a big difference. And a lot of people said that wasn't going to be a factor, but the difference in the ground was huge. You know, and
well, 73 marks.
Yeah,
and that comes with the width as well.
They love it. Yeah, they use the ball, they spread it around, and that Webb just couldn't stop them.
Well, there's one bloke we want to really hear from, and you're going to hear it extensively on Monday.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
And the Hawks make it a hat-trick in front of 98,633. Final scores 16-11-107. Hawthorn by 46 points. 8-13-61 the West Coast Eagles. Cyril Rioli, the overwhelming vote catcher for the Norm Smith medal, and emulating his late great uncle, the wonderful Maurice Rioli, who won the Norm Smith medal back in 1982. A fantastic effort today for Cyril Rioli. Boys, just as we go through to wrap up, your overwhelming result today, Derm, from you. You've got the Mark Knight poster in front of you there, mate, but what's the memory you take from this game?
I love the moment for Ryan Schoenmakers. He's had the heartache story, and yet he got to play the best game of his career in the biggest game of his life. And now he is a part of the back-to-back premiers. There we go. What a wonderful team. Incredible effort.
Nice little week poster. That'll be worth a fair bit of money with all those signatures on them.
Mark Knight does it every year. And just if you're out there and you want to buy one, the proceeds do go to the Good Friday appeal as well. So you can find it just about on every street corner at the moment.
Can you take that down and get Cyril's on there? Because I reckon that'll be worth a fair bit, Ed, because the story for me is that we're so lucky we're watching one of the most exciting players that's ever played the game and plays well in big games. Obviously wins the Norm Smith today, but he's Ablett Senior like. We've seen what Ablett Senior did in the 89 grand final. There's many other great players, but I think he's in the most exciting we've ever seen in this history.
Yeah, I agree. He's one of the most exciting players. I reckon we've seen one of the most exciting group of leaders, powerful, dominant leaders. He's got Clarko, but he's got so many lieutenants on the ground. We've seen the vision all through the year of Hodgie directing traffic, Sam Mitchell doing the same thing, Ruffy. So I think applaud to Hawthorn for what they've developed over the last handful of years.
To Kingy and Jared for the last time in the lab, boys, it's been a fantastic season. We've loved all your work. Your thoughts?
Oh, we love it, don't we? We just love the way they play. It's exciting, it's high scoring. I think the fans love it. You'd love to be a Hawthorn supporter right now. I mean, they've had a fantastic 3 to 4 seasons now, and this won't stop for a while, Jared. This is rolling.
No, this is going on, and why wouldn't you want to go and join that particular club? They've got a great coach. You can't undersell the achievements of Alistair Clarkson. And on last Monday night, we talked about Big Cyril and Little Cyril. Well, it was Little Cyril that got the job done today. And wasn't it just fantastic to see him produce his very best on the biggest stage?
Got to go through Chicago, Ed. We kept saying it. You've got to beat Hawthorn at the MCG. It's difficult to do.
Yep, and no one could this year, that's for sure, guys. They were just too good. And there you go. They've had a dominant period since 1960, their first premiership coming in 1961. Dermot mentioned earlier how they were the easy beats, changed the shape of their jumper, changed their name from the Mayblooms to the Hawks. And John Kennedy just led that dynasty in the early stages. 61, the next one came in 71. Then it was the Lee Matthews and Michael Tuck and Don Scott era. Then it went over into the Dermot Brereton, Jason Dunstall, Dipper era. And of course now we get into this modern time where Shane Crawford handballed it over the top to guys like Luke Hodge and Jordan Lewis, Cyril Rioli, and these wonderful players who have just been magnificent. The great names of Hawthorn, we saw Peter Knights out there today. They have deserved every one of their magnificent, successful premierships since 1961. Boys, we're going to wrap up now. There's still plenty of footy coming on Fox Footy. Don't forget that. Tomorrow night, 7:30, The Bounce is going to be a beauty with Jason Dunstall in full flight. Then Monday night, it's AFL 360 and On the Couch with Jared Healy and Big Brownie over there, and Jason Dunstall and Alistair Clarkson will be our special guest. We hope that you've enjoyed everything that we've brought you this year on Fox Footy. On behalf of all our presenters, all the people behind the scenes, everyone working at Fox Footy, it's been a magnificent 2015. The great news is Fox Footy will have the footy for another 7 years to come. Everyone's excited here. This is what it's all about. Finally, congratulations to everyone at the Hawthorn Football Club. They have gone back to back to back. A hat-trick of premierships. Sit back and relax and enjoy the replay. But from everybody here at Fox Footy, good night from the MCG. Well done, Hawthorn.